Grand Tour, filme que garantiu a Palma de Ouro de Melhor Direção ao diretor português Miguel Gomes no Festival de Cannes 2024, chega agora à plataforma MUBI. Através de uma fotografia totalmente preto e branco, imagens documentais, referências históricas, o diretor traz uma crítica ao processo de colonização e outros temas que se aplicam diretamente até os dias de hoje. Para isso, ele foge completamente do encaixotamento de forma e estética cinematográfica, o que torna ele de fato muito interessante e estabelece uma relação única entre tempo e memória. A gente teve a oportunidade de conversar com o diretor Miguel Gomes, então confere aí nosso papo.
About this encounter. And it's a film about many these encounters, I guess, and many of these encounters have something to do with, this issue of colonialism, I guess, because these characters look a little bit, these Western characters look a little bit lost. Was one of the reasons of our decision not to put subtitles when, Western characters are seeing something. Like an example is almost in the beginning of the film, there's a situation with three women discussing in front of Edward, the main character, in the jungle. And we sense that this discussion maybe can have something to do with him, with Edward, but we never know, except if you talk Malaysian. Like strange process, or strange, let's say non-orthodox process, because if everyone is making the film like in the traditional way of writing the script, looking for actors, shooting them and editing, and it's finished. I know that doing other thing will maybe allow that the film doesn't look so much alike, an average normal film made by the same process. So before writing the first page of the script, we went to do the travel. So we follow the same itinerary of the characters in the real world, in the real Asia. And only after we wrote the script and we went to studio. And this changed completely because beginning to shoot, jungles and bamboo forests and, cities and situations in all of these countries gave us like limits for writing.
And you are talking a lot about of your subjective. How do you create these kinds of scenes? For example, there's a scene about the donkey, and someone says about how beautiful freedom is, and the donkey he's in the back of the scene. He snaps and he takes off. And I think this is wonderful, and this stimulates exactly what you are saying about this subjective.
Yeah, cinema is many things, thinking about many things, having desire to shoot this person, to shoot this place, and ideas that you want to have in the film. So it's made with all of these desires and ideas, but it's also made with, by chance. So what happened with the donkey was that we thought in the end, we were in the studio and we thought, this donkey can get a little bit too nervous, and I think the good place for the actress that plays Molly is just behind him, and I think this can end in a bad way because we start to move a little bit the boat and to put smoke on the floor, and maybe he can get nervous and hit the actress. So when we understood this, I said, okay, let's do a shot with the donkey, and the donkey then we'll put the voiceover saying that the donkey ran away. So In this case, it was not like a screen play. An idea of the screenplay was for something that was happening. It was too dangerous. I had the donkey. I already filmed the donkey, and I said, let's imagine that the donkey is more, smart. Is more intuitive than the humans. So he will go and he will run away from this boat that will sink, and that he knows. The donkey knows. So we just invented on set this thing. But for this to happen, it's true. Something also you have mentioned is to have how a film can provide the space for these kind of things to happen. Because if it's all blocked, if it's all written in the screenplay, in the end, nothing like this will happen, and you'll not have space. The film will not have space for, people and things that are happening. There are these kind of films that are so closed that even if there are like 7 elephants passing by, no one will point the camera to them and film them. So you lose everything because everyone will be reading a paper, and we just don't do this.
The character's narrative takes place in 1917, and you mix with documentary footage and images from today. This extends the initial story, Edward and Molly, to present day and possibly to future years, but also demonstrates in such a way, from my perspective at least, how some structures of our society remains resilient through the years, such as monogamy, the idea of family and marriage. So I'd like you to talk about that, please.
Well, Lily, I encourage you on your perception of these issues of the film. But if you would say something different, I would also encourage you. And I'm not crazy. I'm just saying that the film, I hope the film has the ability, of receiving what people project in it. The most important thing in cinema is to be able to receive, to be available for an encounter with the viewer, and every viewer is different, and someone like you talk about the monogamy and a conservative idea of society, for instance, but we can also have another things. One of the things I've been talking about is puppets, because there are many puppets in the film. And I was explaining that I have the sensation that puppets are a little bit nobody. They are nobody because if they are nobody, they can be everybody. And this applies not to puppets, but I think also to cinema characters, which are a different form of puppets. And cinema is a different form of puppet show. It comes from there. And so this emptiness or this space, this empty space that, characters, films, for me, should have, is precisely what gives the opportunity to the viewer to, to mingle with the film. And this means that every time the film is seen by someone, it's a different film. And I'm glad that it happens this way.